Hello everyone. Welcome to Intrinsic Archives. My name is Verlaine, but you can call me V. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. In this channel, we do beauty discussions and lots of commentary. So if you like what you see and you want to see more, go ahead and like and comment down below. Say it with me. If you're feeling the vibe, go ahead and subscribe. Show your girl some love and hit that subscribe button down below. And don't forget to follow me on my social media, CoffeebeanVee. So today we are going to be fully discussing the word, the action, the meaning of submission, and why I feel like modern women cannot or will not fully submit to their partners. Now, as someone who's about to be married, the word submission has come up quite a bit by other family members, pastors, as well as onlookers on what I'm supposed to do as a woman to fully fulfill my role as girlfriend, once fiance, and soon to be wife to my significant other. Now, in recent time, I've gone on lots of videos. I've had lots of conversations with my girlfriends, and we talked about our weariness of the word submission. And it really had me thinking why a lot of women cannot or completely reject the entire notion of submission. I kind of want to start this conversation with a Bible reference. I wanted to use this Bible verse purely because this is the verse that a lot of people typically throw in women's faces in regards to a submission. So Ephesians chapter 5, verse 21 says, "Wives, you must submit to your husbands as the Lord, for the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church." Now, a lot of people love to use that particular verse when it comes to convincing a woman on submission, basically to have her submit or obey or follow her role as a woman. Now, to be honest with you, I do understand, and I honestly believe the reason why a lot of modern women refuse or completely reject the notion of submission is because this term is often abused by men to enforce a woman to obey or to stay within their role. It's not because all of us want to be city girls. It's because the word submission or the term submission is never used or never painted in a beautiful picture of love, appreciation, servitude. In fact, it's actually quite used as a weapon. And the crazy thing is, if you continue reading that verse, Ephesians chapter 5, and continue reading on that chapter, it specifically talks about how the husbands are supposed to love and cherish their wife. It also talks about how a man is supposed to love his wife as if he loves his own body. And if you take care of your body, you give it food, you give it nourishment, you ought to do the same to your wife. And if you don't do that, you're almost showing that you hate yourself. But people always love to skip that little verse, little chapter. They just stick with that first little section. They take it, they cherry pick it and twist it to their own meaning, completely disregarding the next sentences. But it's crazy how when it comes to the word submission, it's a very triggering word for some women because it's, again, often used and abused and constantly used as a message to force women into this servitude role unwillingly. And the crazy thing about submission, it's almost a two-way street. Servitude, I feel like, is a wonderful, it's almost acts of service is basically how I would do it. To submit to your husband or to submit to your significant other, whatever you want to say, it truly is letting that person lead as long as they're a good leader and being able to follow, not follow blindly, but being able to let them take that role and being able to support them, being able to be their backbone, vice versa. And a lot of the time, like mentioned before, a lot of people tend to forget that submission is not just stuck by the woman. It also is supposed to be used by both partners. Being in a non-toxic relationship allows a woman to feel feminine. Constantly, especially in these type of conversations, it's submission and dominance. There's a lot of femininity conversations. There's a lot of different roles conversation. When a woman is in a relationship where she completely feels secure, she feels cared for, she feels like she can be feminine, she's not constantly in a fight or flight defense mode, it's easier to be quote unquote submissive because we're looking at we're looking to our partners and we're like, okay, it seems like you got it. Don't get me wrong. One eye open, one eye closed, ladies. We cannot be blindly following people now, because that's not what God asks of us. But when we're in a relationship where we truly feel cared for, we feel loved, we feel feminine, we feel like we don't have to constantly be monitoring, constantly be working in a place of fear, it is so much easier to look at our mate and be like, yeah, you got this. You can lead this. Yeah. Okay. That's what it is. And I feel like sometimes men completely miss this motion. They feel like for a woman to submit, they got to break the woman down. They got to force them and dominate them in a sense of like forcing you to submit and forcing you to listen. I promise you, in a non-toxic relationship, if a man is properly able to lead, it makes a woman feel completely comfortable and relaxed in her own skin and where the relationship is in all facets of life. You got a submissive woman in your hands. You got a woman who's calm. You got a woman who's relaxed. You got a woman who is willing to serve, quote unquote, serve. You got a woman who's willing to give and take. And you're going to get a woman who is going to give her all in that relationship. And it truly is a beautiful thing. In conclusion, modern women do not want to submit due to the fact that social media, society, misogyny has painted a very ugly picture of the word submissive. And we as women have experienced one hand or another, a person abusing that word, whether it's by a man, by a pastor, or by a woman, an older, elder woman who uses that word submissive to make us obey, to make us stay in our place, to make us almost brainless in whatever situation we are in. That is why I feel like modern women completely reject the notion. We're not all city girls out here. We simply are trying to protect ourselves due to the fact that this term, this notion, this act of servitude has been used and abused countless times. And we women feel like we are not going to be doormats in relationships and let whomever run us down until we are left with nothing. Tell me what you guys think down below. Let me know your opinion. What do you feel about the word submission? Do you feel like I got my opinion right? Is that why a lot of women don't want to even hear that conversation, or did I completely miss the mark? I would love to hear everyone's thoughts and opinions down below. Do not forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends and family, and I would love to see you in my next video.